Welcome back to Echoes Through Time. Tonight, we will journey far into the distant past. Not hundreds of years ago, not even 1,000 years ago, but more than 3,000 years into the ancient world of Egypt. As you settle into a comfortable position, allow your eyes to gently close. Take a slow breath in and slowly breathe out. Let the concerns of today drift away. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do. For the next little while, we will simply travel through history together. Imagine that you are standing beside the Nile River. The warm Egyptian sun hangs low in the sky. A gentle breeze moves across the water. Palm trees sway softly along the riverbanks. In the distance, birds glide across the golden horizon. The sound of flowing water fills the air. The Nile is calm, peaceful, timeless. For thousands of years, this river has been the lifeblood of Egypt. Without it, the great civilization of the Pharaohs would never have existed. As you walk slowly along the riverbank, you notice small boats drifting across the water. Farmers begin their day before sunrise. Fishermen prepare their nets. Merchants load goods onto wooden vessels. Life here moves at a slower pace, a peaceful rhythm guided by the rising and setting of the sun. You continue walking through a small village. The houses are simple, built from sun-dried mud bricks. Children run through narrow pathways. Women prepare bread from freshly ground grain. The smell of baking bread drifts through the warm morning air. Nearby, craftsmen carefully shape pottery, using techniques passed down through generations. Every person has a role. Every task helps the community survive. Unlike the grand images of pyramids and treasure that often come to mind, most Egyptians lived quiet and ordinary lives. They were farmers, builders, fishermen, artisans, parents, children, people not so different from ourselves. As the morning sun climbs higher into the sky, the distant outline of a massive pyramid appears on the horizon. Its smooth white limestone surface reflects the sunlight like a shining beacon. Even from miles away, it inspires awe. You begin walking toward it slowly, step by step, as generations of Egyptians once did thousands of years ago. And as you continue this journey through ancient Egypt, we will discover how these remarkable people lived, worked, worshipped, and dreamed beneath the same stars that shine above us tonight. So relax, take another slow breath, and let the echoes of time carry you gently into the world of ancient Egypt. Now, as we continue our gentle journey through ancient Egypt, allow yourself to walk a little farther along the banks of the Nile. The morning sun is beginning to rise higher into the sky. Its golden light dances across the surface of the water. The river moves slowly and peacefully, just as it has for thousands upon thousands of years. Take a moment to imagine yourself standing there. The air is warm but pleasant. A gentle breeze carries the scent of fresh water and fertile earth. Birds glide gracefully overhead. In the distance, you hear the soft sounds of daily life beginning to awaken. For the people of ancient Egypt, the Nile was far more than a river. It was life itself. Without the Nile, there would have been no farms, no villages, no cities, no pyramids, no Egypt. All around you stretches an endless landscape of golden desert. The sand extends far beyond the horizon, yet beside the river, everything is green. Fields of wheat sway gently in the breeze. Palm trees line the riverbanks. Gardens flourish with vegetables and fruits. This narrow ribbon of life cuts through the desert like a miracle, and every Egyptian understood how precious it was. As you continue walking, you notice farmers already hard at work. Their day begins early, long before the heat of the afternoon arrives. A man guides a wooden plow through dark soil. Nearby, several oxen move steadily forward. Children help carry baskets. Women gather vegetables from small gardens. The entire family works together. Life here depends on cooperation. Every harvest matters. Every season matters. And above all, the Nile matters. Each year, something remarkable happens. The river rises. Water flows beyond its normal banks. Fields become flooded. At first glance, this might seem dangerous. But for ancient Egyptians, it was a blessing. As the floodwaters slowly retreat, they leave behind rich black soil. This fertile earth makes farming possible. Generation after generation, the people watch the floods carefully. They learn to understand the rhythm of the river. The Nile becomes their calendar, their clock, their guide. Imagine standing beside the river during one of these annual floods. The water spreads across the land. The sky above is clear and blue. Boats travel where fields once stood. Families wait patiently for the waters to recede. They know that when the flood is over, new life will emerge. And almost always, it does. This cycle repeats year after year. For centuries, for millennia, the people trust the river, and the river provides. As you continue your walk, you come upon a small fishing boat. A fisherman sits quietly near the shore. His net rests beside him. The water around him is calm. Patiently, he waits. Fishing is an important part of life here. The Nile is filled with fish. Many families depend on them for food. The fisherman casts his net into the water. It spreads gracefully across the surface before sinking below. For a few moments, everything is still. Then he slowly pulls it back. Silver fish shimmer in the morning sunlight. His catch will help feed his family today. Further downstream, larger boats move along the river. These vessels carry grain, pottery, wood, and stone. The Nile serves as Egypt's great highway. Travel by land is difficult. The desert is vast, but the river connects everything. Villages, cities, temples, markets, royal palaces, all linked together by the steady flow of water. You watch as merchants unload goods at a busy riverside dock. Workers carry baskets filled with grain. Others transport clay jars containing oil and wine. People greet one another warmly. News travels from village to village. Stories move along the river just as goods do. The Nile carries not only supplies, it carries ideas, traditions, dreams, and memories. As midday approaches, the sun becomes stronger. Many people seek shade beneath palm trees. Children laugh and play near the water's edge. Some skip stones across the river. Others chase one another through the fields. For them, the Nile is simply part of everyday life. They have never known a world without it. They grow up hearing its sounds, watching its waters, depending upon its generosity. Nearby, an elderly man sits quietly beneath a tree. His face shows the wisdom of many years. He has seen countless floods, countless harvests, countless seasons come and go. The river has been his companion throughout his entire life. And now, as he watches the water flow gently past, he feels a deep sense of peace, the same peace that countless Egyptians have felt before him. As afternoon slowly drifts toward evening, the light begins to soften. The fields glow with shades of gold. Long shadows stretch across the land. The heat of the day gradually fades. Workers return home. Fishing boats make their way back to shore. Families gather together. The smell of freshly baked bread fills the air. Simple meals are shared. Stories are told. Children listen carefully to tales passed down through generations. And always nearby, the Nile continues its endless journey. Quiet, steady, unchanging, its waters have witnessed the rise of kings, the construction of pyramids, the growth of great cities, and the daily lives of ordinary people. Through every triumph and every challenge, the river remains. As evening settles across the land, the sky begins to fill with stars. One by one, they appear above the darkening horizon. The river reflects their gentle light. The sounds of the day slowly disappear. A peaceful silence settles over the valley. And as you stand beside the Nile beneath the ancient Egyptian night sky, you understand why this river was so deeply loved. It gave life. It brought hope. It connected generations. And for thousands of years, it remained the beating heart of one of history's greatest civilizations. Take a slow breath. Listen to the gentle flow of the water. And allow yourself to drift even deeper into relaxation as our journey through ancient Egypt continues. As the first light of dawn appears over the horizon, a quiet Egyptian village begins to awaken. The stars slowly fade from the sky. A soft golden glow spreads across the land. The air is cool and refreshing before the heat of the day arrives. Roosters call from nearby courtyards. Birds sing among the palm trees. The village, which only moments ago was silent, gradually comes to life. Imagine yourself walking through one of these ancient communities. The narrow paths beneath your feet are made of packed earth. Simple mud brick homes stand side by side. Their flat roofs catch the first rays of sunlight. Thin wisps of smoke rise into morning sky as families begin preparing breakfast. The village is small compared to the great cities of Egypt. There are no towering temples here, no massive palaces, no grand monuments. Yet this is where most Egyptians spend their lives. Ordinary people, living ordinary days. And perhaps that is what makes this place so fascinating. You approach one of the homes. Its walls are built from mud bricks dried beneath the Egyptian sun. The house remains surprisingly cool inside despite the growing warmth outside. A family is already awake. The father prepares tools for the day's work. The mother kneads dough to make bread. Children help fetch water from a nearby well. Everyone has responsibilities. Everyone contributes. Life in ancient Egypt depends on cooperation. As the sun rises higher, the smell of fresh bread begins to fill the air. Bread is one of the most important foods in Egypt. It appears on nearly every table. Rich or poor, young or old, most families begin their day with bread and simple vegetables. Sometimes dates, sometimes fish, sometimes onions or lentils. The meals are modest, but they provide the energy needed for long hours of work. Outside, the village becomes increasingly busy. Farmers gather their tools. Oxen are led toward the fields. Donkeys carry baskets filled with supplies. The entire community moves with a calm and familiar rhythm. No one rushes. The pace of life follows the natural cycle of the sun. As you walk farther through the village, you notice a skilled potter beginning his work. He sits beside a spinning wheel. A lump of clay rests between his hands. With remarkable precision, he shapes the clay into a beautiful vessel. His movements are smooth and practiced. He has likely performed this task thousands of times. Nearby, rows of finished pottery dry in the sunlight. Some will be used to store grain. Others will carry water. Some may even travel far down the Nile to distant towns and cities. A little farther ahead, you discover a carpenter working beneath the shade of a palm tree. Wood is valuable in ancient Egypt. Large forests are rare. Every piece must be used carefully. The carpenter shapes a wooden stool. His tools are simple, yet his craftsmanship is extraordinary. Each cut is deliberate, each detail carefully considered. Across the village, countless individuals practice trades passed down through generations. Blacksmiths, weavers, builders, stone workers, basket makers. Each person contributes something essential. Each skill helps sustain the community. As the morning continues, children gather together near an open area. Some play games. Others help with chores. Formal schools are uncommon for most families. Instead, children learn through observation. They watch their parents. They assist with daily tasks. Over time, they acquire the knowledge needed for adulthood. A young boy learns farming by helping his father. A young girl learns baking by assisting her mother. Skills are taught through experience. Day by day, year by year, generation after generation. As midday approaches, the Egyptian sun becomes intense. The temperature rises steadily. Many villagers seek shade whenever possible. Work slows slightly. People rest beneath trees. Some return indoors for a short break. The thick mud brick walls help keep homes cool. Inside one house, a family gathers for a simple meal. Fresh bread, vegetables, fish from the Nile, cool water stored in clay jars. Nothing extravagant, yet there is comfort in the simplicity. The family share stories. They laugh together. For a brief moment, the demands of the day fade away. Outside, the village remains peaceful. Unlike modern cities filled with engines and machines, the sounds here are gentle. Birdsong, footsteps, the rustle of palm leaves, the distant call of livestock, the occasional splash of water. It is a world connected closely to nature. A world where people understand the seasons, the weather, the river, the land. Everything is interconnected. As afternoon slowly arrives, work resumes. Farmers return to the fields. Artisans continue their crafts. Merchants prepare goods for transport. The village remains seductive, yet never feels hurried. There's a sense of balance here. a rhythm shaped by thousands of years of tradition. As the sun begins its descent toward the western horizon, the light grows softer, golden, warm, beautiful. Long shadows stretch across the village paths. Children return home. Animals are gathered into pens. Families begin preparing evening meals. The day's work is nearly finished. Cooking fires appear once again. The smell of bread drifts through the air. Voices carry softly from house to house. Neighbors greet one another. Stories are exchanged. News is shared. Community bonds grow stronger. For ancient Egyptians, family and community are among life's greatest treasures. As darkness gradually settles across the land, villagers look toward the sky. Thousands of stars emerge overhead, brighter than most people today could imagine. Without city lights, the heavens appear endless. The Milky Way stretches across the darkness like a river of light. Children listen as elders tell stories beneath the stars. Some stories speak of gods. Others speak of heroes. Some explain the mysteries of the world. For countless generations, these stories have been passed from one voice to another, keeping memories alive, connecting the past to the future. Eventually, the village grows quiet. One by one, lamps are extinguished. Families settle into their homes. The sounds of the day fade away. Only the gentle night breeze remains. And somewhere beyond the darkness, the Nile continues its endless journey through Egypt, the same river that nourished these people, the same river that shaped their civilization, the same river whose waters still flow today. As you stand beneath the stars of ancient Egypt, take a slow breath. Feel the calmness of the evening, the peace of a simpler world. As the peaceful village slowly fades into the distance behind us, our journey through ancient Egypt continues. The stars above begin to disappear. A new day is about to begin. And today, we will step beyond the lives of ordinary villagers and enter a world that few people would ever experience. The world of the Pharaohs. Take a slow breath. Allow yourself to imagine standing beside the Nile once more. The morning mist drifts gently above the water. Far ahead, rising from the horizon, you can see the silhouette of a magnificent city. Its temples shine beneath the first rays of sunlight. Tall stone columns reach toward the sky. Grand statues stand silently, watching over the land. This is a world of kings, a world of gods, a world where the ruler of Egypt is believed to be far more than a human being. In ancient Egypt, the pharaoh was not simply a king. The people believed that the pharaoh was chosen by the gods themselves. Some even believed the pharaoh possessed divine power. To ordinary Egyptians, the ruler represented order, stability, and protection. Without the pharaoh, many feared that chaos would take hold. As we move closer to the city, activity begins to surround us. Officials travel along wide roads. Merchants carry goods toward busy markets. Temple servants prepare for the day's ceremonies. Soldiers stand watch near important buildings. Everything appears organized. Everything functions according to a carefully maintained system. At the center of it all stands a royal palace. Imagine approaching its massive walls. Colorful banners flutter gently in the breeze. Guards wearing linen garments and carrying bronze weapons stand at the entrances. Beyond the gates lies a world of extraordinary luxury. Gardens filled with flowers and palm trees. Reflecting pools that mirror the sky. Elegant halls decorated with paintings and carvings. The palace is unlike anything most villagers will ever see. Inside, servants move quietly through long corridors. Scribes record important information on sheets of papyrus. Messengers arrive carrying news from distant regions of Egypt. Every corner of the palace is filled with activity. And yet, despite the wealth and power surrounding it, the palace remains remarkably peaceful. The pharaoh's day begins early. Long before many citizens awaken, meetings must be held. Reports must be reviewed. Religious ceremonies must be observed. The responsibilities of ruling Egypt are enormous. From overseeing agriculture to managing trade and construction projects, countless decisions depend upon the ruler's guidance. Imagine the pharaoh seated upon a magnificent throne. Gold decorations shimmer in the sunlight. Beautiful jewelry reflects brilliant colors. Yet behind the symbols of power is a person carrying immense responsibility. An entire civilization depends upon wise leadership. As the morning progresses, we leave the palace behind and make our way toward one of Egypt's great temples. These temples are among the most impressive structures in the ancient world. Their massive stone walls seem almost eternal. Gigantic columns rise toward the heavens. Detailed carvings cover nearly every surface. Each image tells a story of gods, a story of kings, a story of the universe itself. As you walk through the entrance, the air feels cool and still. The sounds of the city fade away. Sunlight filters through towering columns. The atmosphere is calm, sacred, almost timeless for the people of ancient Egypt. Temples were not simply places of worship. They were believed to be the homes of the gods. Every day, priests performed rituals designed to honor these divine beings. Imagine a priest walking quietly through the temple halls. He carries incense that releases a gentle fragrance into the air. Soft prayers echo from distant chambers. Offerings of bread, fruit, flowers, and wine are carefully arranged. Every action follows traditions that have existed for centuries. The priests believe these rituals help maintain harmony throughout the world. One of the most important ideas in Egyptian belief is something called Ma'at. Ma'at represents balance, truth, justice, order. The Egyptians believed that maintaining balance was essential. Without balance, chaos would spread. The pharaoh and the priests both played important roles in preserving this harmony. As you continue through the temple, you encounter magnificent statues of the gods. There's Ra, the sun god. Each morning, Egyptians believe he traveled across the sky in a celestial boat, bringing light to the world. There's Osiris, ruler of the afterlife, associated with renewal and rebirth. There's Isis, goddess of wisdom, motherhood, and protection, one of the most beloved figures in Egyptian mythology. And there is Horus, the falcon god whose watchful eyes symbolize protection and kingship. For ancient Egyptians, these gods were not distant beings. They were deeply connected to everyday life. The rising sun, the flooding Nile, the harvest, the stars. Everything carried spiritual meaning. As afternoon approaches, our attention is drawn toward the western horizon. Far beyond the city, rising from the desert sands, stand some of the most famous structures ever created, the pyramids. Even from a distance, they appear extraordinary. Their enormous shapes dominate the landscape, silent, mysterious, enduring. Imagine yourself slowly approaching one of these ancient wonders. Each massive stone block has been carefully placed. Thousands upon thousands of workers contributed to their construction. Years of labor, years of planning, years of dedication. The pyramids were not merely tombs. They were symbols of eternity. The Egyptians believed that death was not an ending. Instead, it was the beginning of another journey, a journey into the afterlife. Because of this belief, great care was taken to prepare for what came next. Inside the pyramids and tombs, treasures were placed alongside the deceased. Food, jewelry, furniture, sacred objects, everything thought necessary for the next world. As the sun begins to descend, the golden light of evening spreads across the desert. The pyramids glow with warm colors, orange, gold, amber. For a moment, time itself seems to stand still. Thousands of years have passed. Empires have risen and fallen, yet these monuments remain, watching silently as generations come and go. As darkness slowly approaches, the stars begin to appear above the desert once again. The same stars seen by priests, by pharaohs, by builders, by farmers. The same stars that watched over ancient Egypt long ago. Take a slow breath. Allow the quiet desert evening to surround you. Feel the cool night air, the stillness, the sense of wonder. And as the pyramids stand beneath the endless sky, let yourself drift deeper into relaxation. for our journey through ancient Egypt is only just beginning. As the evening sun casts its golden light across the desert, our journey through ancient Egypt continues. Before us stand the pyramids, silent, majestic, timeless. For thousands of years, these extraordinary structures have inspired wonder and curiosity. Kings have admired them. Travelers have crossed vast distances to see them. Scholars have spent lifetimes trying to understand them. And even today, they remain among the most recognizable monuments on Earth. Take a slow breath. Imagine yourself standing upon the warm desert sands. The air is calm. The sky above is painted with shades of gold and amber. The Great Pyramid rises before you. Its enormous stone blocks seem almost impossible to comprehend, each one carefully placed. Each one part of a vision that began thousands of years ago. As you slowly approach the pyramid, you notice how peaceful everything feels. There are no crowds, no noise, only the gentle whisper of the desert wind. Ancient Egyptians did not build pyramids simply to display wealth or power. For them, these monuments served a far deeper purpose. They were connected to one of the most important beliefs in Egyptian life, the belief that death was not the end. Instead, death was viewed as the beginning of a new journey, a transition from one world to another. To understand the pyramids, we must first understand how the Egyptians viewed life itself. Ancient Egyptians believed that every person possessed different spiritual elements. Among these were the Ka and the Ba. The Ka was often described as a person's life force, the spiritual energy that remained after physical death. The Ba represented personality, character, individual identity. Together, these spiritual elements continued their journey after death. But for this journey to succeed, the body needed to be preserved. This belief eventually led to one of history's most fascinating traditions, mummification. Imagine entering a quiet chamber where skilled embalmers carefully perform their work. The atmosphere is respectful, peaceful. Every action follows traditions refined over many centuries. The goal is not simply preservation. The goal is preparation. Preparation for eternity. The Egyptians believed that the soul would someday recognize its physical body. For this reason, great care was taken during the mummification process. Each step was performed with patience and precision. Prayers were spoken. Sacred rituals were observed. Family members placed immense trust in those responsible for this important task. For them, preserving the body was an act of love, a final gift offered to those who had passed beyond this world. As the preparation continues, craftsmen begin creating objects that will accompany the deceased. Beautiful jewelry, decorated furniture, food containers, clothing, tools, everything thought necessary for the next stage of existence. The afterlife was imagined as a continuation of life itself, a place where fields remained fertile, where rivers flowed peacefully, where families could be reunited, and where happiness could continue forever. As darkness gradually settles across the desert, imagine yourself entering a sacred tomb. The walls are covered with colorful paintings. Scenes of daily life appear everywhere. Farmers working in fields, boats traveling along the Nile, families gathering together, animals roaming peacefully. These images are more than decoration. They serve a purpose. They are intended to help guide the deceased into the next world. Each painting tells a story. Each symbol carries meaning. Each image reflects hope. Hope for a peaceful eternity. Deep within the tomb rests a beautifully crafted sarcophagus. Its surface is covered with intricate carvings. Hieroglyphs tell stories of achievements, beliefs, and prayers. Nearby stand statues and sacred objects. Everything has been placed with care. Everything has significance. The Egyptians believed that words themselves possess power. For this reason, sacred texts were often included within tombs. Some of these writings contain guidance for the journey ahead, instructions for navigating the afterlife, prayers for protection. wisdom for overcoming challenges beyond death. One of the most famous beliefs concerned the judgment of the heart. Imagine standing within a vast celestial hall. The atmosphere is quiet and filled with light. According to Egyptian belief, the heart of the deceased would be weighed against a feather. The feather represented truth, balance, and justice. If the heart remained light and pure, the soul could continue onward toward eternal peace, toward paradise, toward the field of reeds. The field of reeds was one of the most beautiful visions of the afterlife imagined by the Egyptians. It resembled an ideal version of Egypt itself. Green fields stretched endlessly. The Nile flowed peacefully. Harvests were abundant. Loved ones were reunited. There was no suffering, no hunger, no fear, only harmony, only peace. For many Egyptians, this vision brought comfort. It transformed death from something frightening into something meaningful, a doorway rather than an ending. As our journey continues, let us return once more to the pyramids. The stars now shine brightly above the desert. The night sky stretches endlessly in every direction. The Great Pyramid stands beneath the heavens exactly as it has for thousands of years. Generations have come and gone. Kingdoms have risen and fallen. Yet these monuments remain, silent witnesses to history, silent guardians of memory. Perhaps that is part of their enduring mystery. Not simply their size, not simply their age, but the hopes they contain. The dreams of people who lived long ago, people who loved, worked, believed, and wondered about what might come after this life. As you gaze upward at the stars above ancient Egypt, imagine the countless people who once stood here. Priests, builders, farmers, kings, all looking toward the same sky, all asking the same timeless questions. Questions about life, questions about death, questions about eternity. The desert grows quieter. The air becomes cooler. The stars continue their slow journey across the heavens, and the pyramids remain. Patient, still, enduring. Take a slow breath. Allow yourself to relax even more deeply. Feel the calmness of the desert night. Feel the peaceful silence surrounding these ancient wonders. And as the stars shine above the pyramids, let your mind drift gently onward into the next chapter of our journey through ancient Egypt. As the stars slowly fade above the desert horizon, a new day begins in ancient Egypt. The great pyramids remain behind us, silent beneath the morning sky. And now, our journey carries us toward one of the most sacred places in the entire kingdom, an Egyptian temple. Take a slow breath. Imagine yourself walking along a stone pathway as the first rays of sunlight illuminate the landscape. The air is cool and peaceful. Palm trees sway gently in the distance. Birds glide above the Nile. Ahead of you rises a magnificent temple. Its enormous walls glow softly beneath the morning sun. Massive stone columns stand like silent guardians. Ancient carvings cover nearly every surface. Stories of gods and kings are etched into the stone, stories that have survived for thousands of years. As you approach the entrance, everything feels calm, quiet, sacred. Unlike modern places of worship, Egyptian temples were not designed for large gatherings of ordinary people. Instead, they were considered the earthly homes of the gods, a place where divine beings could dwell among humanity. Each morning before sunrise, the temple begins to awaken. Priests quietly move through the corridors. Servants prepare sacred offerings. Oil lamps flicker softly in the darkness. The scent of incense drifts through the air. Imagine walking through the enormous gateway. The outside world slowly disappears behind you. The sounds of markets and villages fade away. Inside the temple, everything feels different. The atmosphere is cool, still, timeless. Long stone corridors stretch before you. Massive columns rise toward the ceiling. Some are decorated with lotus flowers. Others display scenes of gods blessing the land. Sunlight enters through narrow openings high above. Golden beams illuminate the stone floor. Dust particles drift slowly through the light. The entire space feels peaceful, almost dreamlike. As dawn approaches, one of the most important rituals of the day is about to begin. Deep within the temple lies the sanctuary, the most sacred chamber of all. Only a select few priests are permitted to enter. Inside rests a sacred statue representing the temple's god. To the Egyptians, this statue is far more than an object. It serves as a physical connection to the divine. Every morning, priests perform ceremonies to honor and care for the god. Imagine a priest entering the sanctuary in complete silence. He carries fresh flowers, incense, pure water. The chamber is dimly lit. The air is still. Slowly, respectfully, he begins a ritual. Prayers are spoken. Offerings are presented. Incense smoke rises toward the ceiling. Everything is performed with patience and care. Nothing is rushed. For centuries, these same rituals have been repeated day after day, generation after generation. The priests believe these ceremonies help maintain harmony throughout Egypt. As the morning progresses, activity throughout the temple gradually increases. Scribes arrive carrying papyrus scrolls. Temple workers clean courtyards and hallways. Gardeners care for sacred plants growing within the temple grounds. The temple functions almost like a small city. Hundreds of people contribute to its daily operation. Some prepare food. Some maintain records. Some oversee storage rooms filled with grain and supplies. Others devote their lives entirely to religious duties. Among the most respected individuals are the scribes. Imagine a quiet chamber filled with wooden desks. Sunlight enters through open windows. Rows of scribes sit carefully recording information. Their brushes move across papyrus with remarkable precision. In ancient Egypt, writing is a rare and valuable skill. Most people cannot read or write, but scribes possess knowledge that gives them special status. They record taxes, religious texts, government orders, historical events. Without their work, much of Egypt's history would have been lost forever. As you walk through the temple grounds, you notice beautiful gardens surrounding many buildings. Pools of water reflect the sky. Lotus flowers float peacefully upon the surface. Palm trees provide welcome shade. Birds sing softly among the branches. These gardens are designed to create a sense of balance and tranquility, a reflection of the order the Egyptians believe exists throughout the universe. Nearby, temple musicians begin preparing for ceremonies. Their instruments are simple yet beautiful. Harps, flutes, drums. Gentle melodies drift through the air. The music is not loud. It is calm, relaxing, almost hypnotic. Many ceremonies include music because it is believed to honor the gods and bring peace to those who listen. As midday approaches, the sun shines brightly above the temple complex. The stone structures radiate warmth. Workers move more slowly beneath the heat. Many seek shelter beneath covered walkways and shaded courtyards. Inside the temple halls, however, the thick stone walls help maintain a cooler temperature. The interior remains calm and comfortable, even during the hottest hours of the day. Throughout the afternoon, visitors arrive seeking guidance. Some bring offerings. Others seek blessings. Some simply wish to express gratitude, a successful harvest, a healthy child, a safe journey. The temple serves as a spiritual center for countless people. It offers comfort, hope, and connection. As afternoon gradually turns toward evening, the atmosphere begins to change once again. The intense sunlight softens. Long shadows stretch across the courtyards. The air becomes cooler, more peaceful. Temple workers finish their duties. Priests complete the final ceremonies of the day. The sacred statue within the sanctuary is carefully prepared for the night. Incense burns one final time. Prayers are quietly spoken. Then the doors are gently closed until morning. Outside, the sky transforms into shades of orange and gold. The temple appears even more beautiful in the fading light. Its columns glow softly beneath the sunset. Its carvings seem almost alive. For a moment, everything feels perfectly still. The Nile continues its endless journey nearby. The desert remains silent beyond the horizon. The stars begin appearing overhead, one by one, just as they have every night for thousands of years. Imagine standing in the temple courtyard beneath this ancient sky. The day's activities are finished. The musicians have gone home. The workers have departed. The priests have completed their duties. Only peace remains, a deep and comforting stillness. The same stillness that countless Egyptians experienced long ago. Take a slow breath. Feel the cool evening air. Listen to the quiet sounds of the night. And as the stars shine above the sacred temple, allow yourself to drift even deeper into relaxation. For our journey through ancient Egypt continues onward, carrying us further into the wisdom, mysteries, and wonders of this remarkable civilization. As the sacred temple slowly disappears behind us, our journey continues deeper into the heart of ancient Egyptian civilization. The evening air is calm. The stars shine softly overhead. And somewhere beyond the temple walls, a small oil lamp flickers inside a quiet room. Within that room sits a scribe, patiently writing, carefully recording words that may survive for thousands of years. Take a slow breath. Imagine yourself walking through the streets of an ancient Egyptian city. The day's work is coming to an end. Merchants close their stalls. Farmers return home. The sound of activity gradually fade. Yet inside certain buildings, another kind of work continues, the work of preserving knowledge. For ancient Egyptians understood something remarkable. They understood that memory can fade, stories can be forgotten, voices can disappear, but written words can travel across centuries. They can outlive kingdoms. They can outlive kings. And in many cases, they can outlive entire civilizations. As you continue walking, you arrive at a school where future scribes are trained. The building is simple, quiet, peaceful. Young students sit upon woven mats. Papyrus scrolls rest before them. Their teachers move slowly between rows, patiently correcting mistakes, encouraging careful practice. Learn to become a scribe is not easy. Writing requires years of study. Every symbol must be memorized. Every stroke must be precise. For most Egyptians, such an education is impossible. But for those who succeed, the rewards are significant. Scribes are respected, trusted, valued throughout the kingdom. Imagine sitting beside one of these students. A brush rests gently in your hand. Before you lies a sheet of papyrus, made from reeds gathered along the Nile. Its surface feels smooth beneath your fingertips. Carefully, you begin drawing symbols. Birds, eyes, waves, animals, people. These symbols form part of a remarkable writing system known as hieroglyphics. To modern eyes, they may appear like beautiful artwork, yet each symbol carries meaning. Each one tells part of a story. For centuries, scribes used these symbols to record everything from royal decrees to personal letters, religious ceremonies, trade agreements, mathematical calculations, historical events, entire world preserved through ink and papyrus. As the night grows deeper, imagine entering a large chamber filled with scrolls. Shelves stretch from floor to ceiling. Hundreds of documents rest carefully arranged. Some contain records of harvests. Others describe religious beliefs. Some preserve ancient stories passed down through generations. This is one of Egypt's great repositories of knowledge, a place where wisdom is protected, a place where memory is preserved. Long before modern libraries existed, civilizations like Egypt understood the value of collecting information. The more knowledge preserved, the stronger the kingdom became, and so scribes worked tirelessly, day after day, year after year, recording the story of their world. As you wander through the chamber, your attention is drawn toward a group of scholars studying the night sky. Outside, the stars shine brilliantly above the desert. Without artificial lights, the heavens appear breathtaking. Thousands upon thousands of stars stretch across the darkness. Ancient Egyptians observed them carefully. Night after night, season after season, they noticed patterns, movements, cycles. Certain stars appear at specific times each year. One star in particular holds special importance, the star Sirius. When Sirius appears before sunrise, it often signals the coming flood of the Nile. This observation becomes incredibly valuable. It helps farmers prepare. It helps priests plan ceremonies. It helps the entire civilization organize its calendar. Imagine standing beside these ancient astronomers. They gaze upward quietly, recording observations, tracking the movements of celestial bodies. The stars become more than beautiful lights. They become guides, teachers, messengers from the heavens. As centuries pass, Egyptian understanding of time grows increasingly sophisticated. They develop calendars, methods of measurement, systems for organizing the year. Knowledge accumulates slowly, carefully, patiently, much like the construction of the pyramids themselves. One stone at a time, one observation at a time, one generation at a time. Nearby, another group of scholars studies mathematics. Simple numbers are transformed into powerful tools. Measurements are calculated. Buildings are planned. Fields are surveyed. The construction of massive temples and pyramids would be impossible without mathematical understanding. Ancient Egyptian builders rely upon knowledge accumulated over many generations. Knowledge preserved by scribes. Knowledge protected within temples and archives. As the hours pass, the city grows quieter. Most people are asleep, yet inside these chambers of learning, lamps continue to glow softly. A few scribes remain awake. Their brushes move slowly across papyrus, recording one final document before resting. Perhaps they do not realize it, but some of their words will survive for thousands of years, long after their own names are forgotten, long after the cities around them have changed, long after entire kingdoms have disappeared. Their writings will continue speaking, carrying their thoughts into the distant future. And, in a way, those voices still reach us today through surviving scrolls, temple inscriptions, stone carvings, and ancient records. We can still hear echoes of their world, echoes carried through time. As midnight approaches, the stars above ancient Egypt shine more brightly than ever. The city is peaceful. The temple is silent. The Nile flows gently through the darkness. And somewhere nearby, a lone scribe carefully rolls up a finished scroll. His work is complete. Another piece of knowledge has been preserved. Another story protected from being lost. Take a slow breath. Feel the calmness of the night. Imagine the soft glow of oil lamps, the quiet scratching of brushes upon papyrus, the endless stars overhead. And as the wisdom of ancient Egypt surrounds you, allow yourself to drift deeper into relaxation, for our journey is nearing its final chapters. And soon, we will witness one last sunset over one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. As our journey through ancient Egypt slowly approaches its end, let us take one final walk through this remarkable world. Take a slow breath. Allow your shoulders to relax. Let your thoughts drift gently like the waters of Nile. The day is coming to a close. The sun hangs low above the western horizon. Its golden light stretches across the desert. The air is warm, peaceful, still. Imagine yourself standing beside the Nile River one last time. The water flows quietly past, just as it did yesterday, just as it did thousands of years ago. Palm trees sway gently in the evening breeze. Fishing boats return toward distant villages. Farmers make their way home after a long day in the fields. The sounds of daily life begin to fade. The world grows quieter with every passing moment. Far across the landscape, the pyramids stand beneath the setting sun. Their massive stone faces glow with shades of gold and amber. For centuries they have watched over the desert. They have witnessed kings rise and fall. They have seen entire generations come and go. And yet they remain, silent, patient, eternal. As you watch the sunlight touch the ancient stones, it becomes easy to understand why these monuments continue to inspire wonder. Not because they are merely large, not because they are ancient, but because they remind us of something deeper. They remind us that every civilization leaves behind echoes, echoes of dreams, echoes of achievements, echoes of lives once lived. The sun slowly sinks lower. Long shadows stretch across the sand. The desert begins to cool. In the distance, temple bells sound softly as evening rituals come to an end. Priests complete their final prayers. Oil lamps are lit within sacred chambers. The scent of incense drifts into the evening air. The temples grow quiet. The villages grow quiet. Even the great cities begin to slow. Families gather together for their evening meals. Children listen to stories told by parents and grandparents. Simple moments unfold across the kingdom, moments that feel ordinary to those living them. Yet these small moments are the true heart of history. Not only the pyramids, not only the pharaohs, but the everyday lives of ordinary people. People who laughed, worked, loved, dreamed, and hoped for a better tomorrow. As darkness slowly approaches, the colors of the sky begin to change. Golden light becomes orange. Orange becomes crimson. Crimson becomes deep violet. The first stars appear above the horizon, one by one, patiently, quietly. The same stars once observed by Egyptian astronomers. The same stars seen by farmers resting beside the Nile. The same stars reflected in the eyes of kings and queens long ago. For a moment, it feels as though time itself has disappeared. Past and present seem to meet beneath the night sky. The Nile continues its endless journey. The desert remains calm. The stars continue their eternal dance overhead. And ancient Egypt lives on, not through armies, not through wealth, but through memory, through stories, through knowledge passed from generation to generation. As the night deepens, imagine yourself walking slowly through an ancient village. Most homes are now dark. Families have gone to sleep. Only a few lanterns remain glowing softly in the distance. The cool evening breeze moves gently through narrow pathways. The world feels peaceful, safe, comforting, far away, beyond the village, beyond the fields, beyond the river. The pyramids stand beneath the moonlight. Their outlines appear almost dreamlike, like guardians watching over the sleeping land. For thousands of years they have stood beneath these same stars, watching seasons change, watching rivers flow, watching history unfold. And perhaps, in their own silent way, they continue telling stories. Stories carried by the wind. Stories carried through time. As midnight approaches, the kingdom becomes completely still. The temple musicians have long since gone home. The merchants have closed their stalls. The scribes have rolled up their scrolls. The priests have finished their prayers. Only silence remains. A deep and peaceful silence. The kind of silence that can only be found beneath a vast desert sky. Take another slow breath. Feel the cool air. Feel the calmness surrounding you. Allow every worry to drift away. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to think about, only the gentle rhythm of the Nile, only the quiet glow of the stars, only the peaceful echoes of a world long past. And as you stand beside the river one final time, watching the moonlight shimmer upon the water, remember that civilizations may fade, kingdoms may disappear, empires may become history, but their stories remain, their wisdom remains, their echoes remain, carried across centuries, carried across generations, carried through time. And now, as our journey through ancient Egypt slowly comes to an end, allow yourself to rest. Allow your mind to become calm. Allow your thoughts to grow quiet. The Nile continues to flow. The stars continue to shine. And ancient Egypt slowly drifts into the darkness of memory. Peaceful, timeless, eternal. Good night. And thank you for traveling through time with Echoes Through Time.